The system requirements for Overwatch 2 have been revealed ahead of the PvP beta that will launch in late April, and if you can manage to run the first game properly, then you should be fine for the second installment of the franchise. On announcing the requirements, they were revealed to be somewhat similar to the first game, where what had been originally recommended for Overwatch is now the minimum needed to run Overwatch 2. However, the demands will likely be so you can run the game on medium to high settings. So if you're like me and you run the game on the lowest settings to get the most frames possible, then we should be fine with what we have. The first game requires the GTX 660 as the recommended graphics card of choice, and Overwatch 2 will need anything from the 600 series at a minimum to run the game properly. The preferred graphics cards for Overwatch 2 will be an Nvidia GTX 1060 or an AMD R9 380. The RAM requirements are also higher, with the game ideally having at least 8GB to run on. Both games use an Intel Core i3 as the lowest end processor, and Overwatch 2 has upgraded from an i5 to an i7 as the recommended Intel processor. On the AMD side of things, the Phenom X3 8650 will still be perfectly fine to run the game, with Blizzard recommending anything from the Ryzen 5 series to play the game at ideal settings. The system requirements may have been upgraded due to the game engine getting a fresh coat of paint, but could also be more demanding due to things such as the new environment states, where we will see the weather and lighting effects come into play during our adventures in the main story, while possibly coming into play during PvP also. These effects can range from something as simple as playing on King's Row during the daytime, to playing through a rainy night on Lijiang Tower. An example of what the environmental states can do has already been given to us by Blizzard back in June 2021. The example they gave was on Necropolis, where they made it daytime, moved the location of the sun to change how shadows look, and then even added a sandstorm on top of everything to provide an example of how they can make missions in the story mode more challenging for you, the player. Potential programming changes could change the minimum system requirements before and after launch, however, so we will keep you updated on if such changes do end up happening. To summarise the changes, there will be multiple PvP betas for Overwatch 2, with the first one beginning in late April that will bring us our first hands-on experience with the move to 5v5 gameplay. It will also present us with our first opportunity to play as Sojourn, along with 4 new maps, with 2 of them being made for the new push game mode that is also included with the beta. Members of the old cast will have some new life brought to them through reworks also, namely Doomfist and Orisa, as these are the ones listed that we haven't seen anything about so far. The other 2 reworks listed that we will see in the beta are Sombra and Bastion, both of which we have seen videos of in the past that detail their reworks. And finally, they are also running a ping system to Overwatch 2 as well. Something like this has been very much needed in Overwatch for quite some time at this point, as it will help open the door for people wanting to communicate to their team more efficiently, whilst being unable to speak directly in voice chat.